Hello and welcome to the EmpowerHer Play podcast. My name is Yashmin, this is Salma and this is Shafia. And today we have Anne Mills with us, who is our Nordic Walk leader. Welcome, Anne.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
So, obviously you've been working with us, I think, just over 6 months now.
I think nearly a year.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
With at Thames Chase. And that was supported by Forestry England. Mm-hmm. So how did you get into Nordic Walking?
How did I get into Nordic Walking? Probably about 14 years ago.
Wow.
My Pilates teacher at the time was an instructor, but wasn't teaching, but was singing its merits. And she had a friend who was an instructor. So did a course with her with one of my friends. We walked a few months and then her business took off. I went into full-time education. So we stopped. And then I think it was 2018. My youngest was a competitive swimmer, club swimmer. So we used to spend our weekends in swimming pools around the South East and further. And she decided to stop. So I said to my husband, you don't do any exercise. You need to. I'm not pushing you around when you're 17. You've got to get moving. So trying to find something that we could both do together. Yeah. And I suggested this. The original instructor had stopped, so found a new one and did the course again. And we used to walk. And then in COVID, she moved to Suffolk and I put my hand up because I'm very good at putting my hand up and trained. And I was just going to look after that group and maybe have one at home. And the rest is history. I haven't searched for anything. Everything has found me, which to me says it's meant to be.
Yeah,
absolutely. What kind of training do you have to do to Nordic
before that though, if you can explain what Nordic Walking is.
Nordic Walking is, it uses 90% of your body. It uses, it's a total body workout, so it's working your upper and lower body. So it's a walking technique using special poles.
Not sticks, Chef.
No,
not sticks.
I don't say sticks, Sam, do I?
No.
Sal.
Some people say sticks. I'm not going to say anymore. That it's such a good exercise. It's really good for.
Because when you look at it, sorry, Chef, I know I cut you off again.
No.
When you look at Nordic Walking, all we see is people with two sticks walking like this.
Poles.
But yours poles.
No.
No, but I'm saying that's what people see, sticks, right? They see sticks. They don't know it's called poles. So there is a technique.
There is a technique
to that walking, isn't it?
There's two techniques in the UK. So I originally learned the UK method, which is a bent arm and you're taught to shake hands. And, I did it and I was fine. And then when I was training, British Nordic Walking were the ones that answered the email. So I went to train with them. And I'm so glad I did because they teach the 10-step method and it's much more of a back movement to open up your chest. So really good for posture. I've forgotten the question now, sorry.
Yeah, no, so the benefits and what it is really about Nordic Walking that makes it different to just normal walking.
Because you're using the poles, you're changing your centre of balance. So you've got, in effect, four legs, I suppose. So you're using different muscles. So it's on a par with running, but a low impact. So people shouldn't be confused between the hiking poles and Nordic poles because they are very different, very
isn't
different.
It?
People come to me saying I've got poles and they bring these great big heavy poles with a different hand strap, whereas we've got a glove because of the technique. We actually let go of the pole. So
in hiking it's more about using it for grip
sort of
and stability and so on. But Nordic Walking, it's not that. We're not using it to lean on or anything, but to, like you said, to open up. Because I felt like I've turned into a different person when I'm walking to school runs now. I'm doing a catwalk, It's great.
And Shafi, well, she struts the stuff all the time, doesn't she?
She's a born natural. And we just found out recently one of her dream jobs was to become a model.
Oh, there you go.
I said it's not too late.
So it's all yours.
She's a Nordic Walking model.
That's it, exactly.
Chef, what did you want to ask?
No, I just want to know, the training. What kind of training was put in?
So there's two levels that you can go into. So the leader, which we've talked about, which you can just do. You do some, you get some homework to do, and then you do a 3 or 4 hour Zoom call and that teaches you the sort of the basics, risk assessment, what to look out for, how to warm up, how to cool down. But to become an instructor, you have to have walked, I think it's for a year. This is with British Nordic Walking. And then you have a whole weekend of intensive drilling. I thought that I could walk when I went down there, and we started at 8:30 and finished at 5:30 for 2 days.
Oh, God.
And my husband and daughter came. We stayed because we were down in the Cotswolds. And the first evening, Stuart picked me up, and I was sort of walking along like this. In every mirror, I was like, look at my posture. Look at my posture.
We did that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh,
So and you have to do first aid training. You have to be obviously DBS'd. You have to have your insurance, etc., etc. I've also done additional qualifications. So I've done my YMC level 2 for walking and fitness, which is why I do so many exercises with you. I've also done walking with children, walking with dementia, Parkinson's, and
you do Age UK and stuff, don't you?
I do a lot of falls
Yeah.
prevention, so I'm constantly looking for exercises that we can do with poles.
Fantastic.
I usually practice on you. You're my guinea pigs.
Practice on you, Sal.
We're still practicing on you guys.
For Age UK.
Yeah, but I was going to say let's do it today actually, but trying to balance with your eyes closed.
Yeah, that's what I just said to Andy.
It's
difficult.
Oh my God,
I've been
yeah.
practicing at home.
Yeah, have you?
And I've
Okay.
realised how bad I am without
Yeah.
poles. I can do it with poles,
Yeah.
and
It's
crazy,
slightly,
isn't it?
but I've been doing a lot more exercise recently, and the lady I'm with, she's sort of, close your eyes, and I'm wobbling. And I suddenly thought, the reason I wobble so much is because I'm looking at who's wobbling in my groups.
Yeah,
So now it's kind of right, we're all going to wobble together.
yeah, I know.
So what are the wider benefits of Nordic walking? It's not just about posture, is it?
No, I mean, there's the mental health, well-being. You're out in nature, you're seeing nature, you just feel so much better. It's good for posture, it's good for lymph drainage, so people recovering from cancer because you're moving the arms, so you're draining the lymph nodes. People with joint issues, it's really good because it's low impact. I mean, we all know I've got a gammy knee, but, it's keeping it going. Long COVID, diabetes, weight management. You give me a syndrome, an illness, I can probably say, yeah, it's good for that. So, yeah.
Definitely. So when you were, approached by Thames Chase saying you're going to be working with a group called Muslim Sports Association, what was the first? What? No, yeah, but you hadn't met us at that point. What was the thoughts going through your head? And
I didn't really know what to expect.
did you think it'd be any different? Did you just think it's just another group, or did you think actually they may have different needs? Because often we do think, especially when we're not working with Muslim people a lot, we think, oh, they've got a lot of. Not demands. I don't want to say the word demands. It sounds horrible, but maybe they need to do it differently.
I didn't really think about that, to be honest with you. I just, because we did it as a one-off or a couple of one-offs, I just thought, well, let's go with it. I did wonder whether you were going to be, fully be able to move your legs enough, which we've worked out you can.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain exercises, so I always am aware of that. I didn't know about dogs.
Which I do now. There's many stories of them.
I didn't know about dogs until we had that press. What was that last year?
We did the article, didn't we, for Positive News?
Yeah.
Where we talked about.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just been a joy. It really, well, you know how much I love that.
We absolutely love it as well.
Who's the nuttiest? Not looking at Chef.
I'm not looking at anybody either.
Well, might be the person sitting next to me.
There was one week when Shaf didn't come and the birds could sing again.
I'm glad I did not come that week. Oh, that's what I'm going to say. There was a mad dog.
Well, what does she get onto? What does she get up to when she comes?
No, I'm good on her. I'm behaved on her.
I think she is well behaved. You're all well behaved. I just think everybody bounces off each other, and when there's certain people there, it's just. I mean, the way you were with the reindeers, I didn't know whether you'd embrace that or not.
That was cool.
Because obviously Christmas is quite big for me.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'm doing it with my other group.
So we had a Christmas special Nordic, right?
And
the week before,
made those little tasks for us.
Really?
Yeah. Thank you very
and
much.
I was a little bit hesitant because I thought, I don't know if the women will necessarily embrace it as well. Yeah. And I was like, it should be okay, but I thought they might be a bit hesitant. And then I saw the videos because...
She sent me the video. I posted it on.
There were reindeers, there were Santas, there were a lot of.
See, I wasn't well before that, can't you? I had time to spare to sew these things.
There was
It
a
was a
few.
laugh. It was good. So, it was ho, ho, ho.
Did I turn up?
Oh, I've got to get my husband on that day. He was the main Santa there. Jill did a good impression of Santa, didn't she?
She did. She was brilliant.
So we have
and that's lovely, the way that, it's not a closed group anymore.
No, it's
and
open.
how everybody embraces, and we're all learning from each other, which is an absolute joy.
Yeah, and the purpose was for integration. That's what it was about. It wasn't us coming as a separate group and, shying away from everyone. But it's such a lovely group, actually. It's such a
huge success.
Yeah,
huge.
Absolutely. And I think when you say mental health, absolutely. Like people come in and you can tell they're stressed. By Thursday, we're all a little bit frazzled, and we leave, with laughter and happiness and. A nice herbal tea
you just
at the
smile
end.
for the rest of the day.
We
Exactly.
do, yeah, we do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think Shafia's found her calling because she loves it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Even once one of my friends who normally drives me to Nordic Walk, she couldn't make it. So I thought, Sal offered me to. It was one of those movies where I was crashing through the buses and the trains. I said, I'm not going to miss Nordic Walk.
Yeah.
And I made it. You have to because it's such a
But it was
lovely-
what? Bus,
train,
car.
Come on, you got Bobby. You want to make me look like a Tom Cruise here, jumping.
Ding, 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 ding.
But I would like to thank Anne. She's trained. She's giving us the session. She's training us, and then she has to run. First, it was few of us that we were scared of dogs, so she's coming to protect me. There's another Tom Cruise here now, and she's running to few other sisters because we're so scared of the dogs. It's not that we don't like dogs; it's just we're so scared.
But you're not used to them.
We're not
That's
used
what
to,
it is, yeah.
And
I'm not used to Alsatians. I'm used to tiny dogs.
Yeah, and there are all sized
Obviously, it's a
dogs and-
forest, so
Of course,
people are walking their
of course,
dogs.
yeah. But they're lovely people, and they are most of the time on the lead anyway.
Most of the
Most
time.
of the time, yeah.
Most of the
but
time.
the ones that are like to walk free, like everybody else.
I know. What happened?
Anne comes running.
Yeah, and what happened a couple of weeks ago?
Oh goodness me!
Because that kind of threw you as well.
It
Usually
threw
you're just
me.
like, it's
It
all right,
threw me.
ladies. Yeah.
There was a dog off lead, wasn't there? And there was no sight of the owner.
Yeah.
And a beautiful, beautiful German Shepherd,
They're huge, aren't they?
Alsatian
They're
type
massive.
dog.
Yeah.
And she was so friendly to start with. So I thought, right, walk her up the lane, take her away from the situation. And she sat when I said, and I was just thinking, right, where's the owner? So I thought, I'll look at the little, what do you call it?
That badge.
collar.
Disc
collar.
thing.
Yeah.
And I just typed in the number on my phone, and this dog saw a lady with a little pug. And I thought, oh, maybe that's the owner. And it went bounding. By now I'd established the name of the dog. So I called her. She didn't come. So I went up and I said, is this your dog? And she said, no, it's not my dog. And before we knew it, the pug had rolled over to submit, which is a good sign. But then the Alsatian German Shepherd was literally on top of this dog.
And it was the noises. It was the noises. That's
I'm
all
so
I was
happy
saying.
I wasn't there.
So where was the owner?
Well, by now I'd got through to one of the owners and said, your dog, I wasn't very polite, I must confess, your dog's attacking another dog. Where are you? Thames Chase. Where? I thought, I haven't got time to look at what's, what 3 words or whatever.
I'm in the forest.
I've got a dog situation. And the pug owner was trying to get her dog.
Yeah,
And
obviously she was
Yeah.
scared as well,
That's her
isn't it?
baby, and he was
Yeah.
little and everything.
And
Yeah.
I mean, the little dog was up here now, and this Alsatian thing was still trying to chew it.
Oh.
And then the owner, the husband, because apparently he'd gone off lead and chased a squirrel, was just wandering round. Did you see that bit?
No, we were long.
No. He just literally wandered around.
to do with it?
He wandered around aimlessly, and he was sort of, oh, she's a really friendly dog. I said, she's not. She's just attacked this dog twice.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the pug owner, she went off, so I don't know whether the dog
was okay or not. Yeah.
I don't know, but
I know.
more paperwork.
So are they supposed to keep the dogs on leads?
No, you
They
are
can allow
allowed,
it,
but
okay.
you know,
But be nearby. Do you know what I mean? Be nearby.
It
Know what
chased a
they're up to.
squirrel.
Yeah.
But I think what people assume when they are dog owners, they don't think that other people may be scared, and not everybody likes dogs either.
And I hate that comment of, oh, it's a friendly dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Because it
clearly,
can easily
they're not
switch,
always. But
can't
also,
it?
my fear doesn't matter if your dog is friendly or not, because I'm scared, you know?
Yeah.
And that makes a difference.
And we don't want to come across rude as well.
That's
No,
it, yeah.
it's not nice.
But then there was a group of Alsatians the following week after you'd gone, when I was doing my second group, and they were not nice together.
Ooh,
So
really?
yeah. So I've got a nearly 13 and a half year old blind little cavvy, and he is as gentle as anything. And children do come up and I say, is it okay to the parents? If they haven't said to me, is it okay to stroke your dog? I say, are you okay?
Yeah.
He is a good dog, but you just don't know.
Of course,
you just don't know.
That's it. But my version of the story is usually, because look, Anne's so calm about it, but usually I'm ahead because I like to walk a little bit fast. So I'm there walking along and I see this dog, and you know, sometimes I'm a little bit brave and I'm like, I can walk past it. And then I just see it and it's like taller than me, right?
It was a big dog.
Yeah, it was a big dog and there's no one nearby. So I just slowed down and I waited for Anne. And we're just moving more and more into the bushes, right? And just superhero comes along, grabs it. She's proper like, you know, and we're like, okay, it's in control. And it's when the other dog came and the noises, it was scary.
It was the noise.
We ran. And, you know, I was so far away at one point. We just ran.
No, you did the right thing.
I know, but then I was like, is Anne okay? Yeah, I know. We left Anne, we left Jill.
No, but Jill was there.
Okay?
And at that point, when the attack started, I stood back and thought, I am not putting my hand in that situation. That poor owner had to rescue her dog, and if it was my dog, I'd be first in there.
Yeah.
And if it meant, you know, apparently now you're supposed to, somebody told me, you're supposed to, the dog that's attacking, if you lift their back legs up, but even that was like,
oh my gosh.
Exactly. And it'd still be a struggle, isn't it? It's not easy. But we've gone, and then it's like a few minutes are passing, and I'm like, are they okay?
It shook us all up. It really shook us all up.
Because I was just like, are you lot all right? And do we go back? Because if there's this crazy wild dog now, like, we just didn't know. Because it started off and I was like, Anne's in control and the dog was behaving.
But I think you jinxed it because Georgina came down with forms first. So that's it. I've got another form to fill in. And then you're saying there's loads of dogs, so please don't comment anymore, okay? We're just going for a walk.
I'm just not going to look. I'm not going to comment with none of that. But you know what? We've done it for nearly a year. We've always had good experiences. You get the occasional person, you can tell that they know we're scared, but they'll allow their dogs to circulate. But it's not been, and I think that's probably the scariest incident we've had.
I think it's when people force a friendly dog on you. You know, there's this, there was a golden retriever, wasn't there? And the woman's like, oh, it's you again. Do you want to? And I was thinking, no, just go away. We're quite happy. We're doing a Nordic walk.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. That's it, But I always think, you know what? If I now take my child and she's running around licking you, you wouldn't appreciate that, right? Pooing on the floor and licking you, you're not going to appreciate that. So please don't expect us to appreciate your dog doing that. You know, if you've got one and you love it, like you've got your dog, you love it, but don't expect me to also love it. But I think,
there's an expectation from dog owners that everybody loves dogs.
Yeah.
They don't think about the fear that it can put in people.
Exactly.
Yeah. But, we say that, but the majority of people have been so nice. Majority of people will literally... Actually, they actually go aside, they hold on to their dogs and they go aside. And that's lovely. And I'd say the majority are nice, that they're really thoughtful about that.
As a dog owner, I feel a responsibility to make sure my dog does what it's like having my children, you know, like you say.
Yeah.
You've got certain standards and you'd like to think that people don't. I mean, my poor little dog's been taken out by two Alsatians by a Chihuahua, tiny, snappy little dog.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. Oh no. And I guess, a lot of people don't realise how afraid we are. But the other thing is being around dogs. That's make you feel a little bit braver. I don't know about you, Chef, but I feel like
I'm going better now. I'm going better now.
I feel like over the weeks we've kind of realised that actually majority of the time we can just walk by.
You can walk by or you just stand still and turn your back.
That's it. Because I think the first few weeks they were in the bushes.
Yeah, because
I've had to get a few of
them shoulders. No, there was an incident where there was two little dogs there and the owner was on the phone, and that was on a wellness walk with Sarah. And but then we finished our session, and then me and some of our friends went for another walk. Now those two little dogs came up to me, all right? And every time I went, they thought they thought they're playing with them. Every time I jumped, they jumped over me. I was dying. It doesn't work, Sarah. Where's everybody? Help me.
But then the guy wasn't very nice, was he?
Laughing, saying on the other side, our dogs are playing with someone. I said, they're not playing with. I got to see the funny side of it as well.
I think that's the thing. We learn. We learn through life, don't we? We just continue to learn.
Definitely. You've been on quite a transformative journey, though, isn't it?
Yes.
So can you talk to us about that?
I knew this was coming.
No, come on.
No, but we love it. We love
need this message out to everyone.
Yes.
And it's a whole holistic lifestyle that you're moving towards, and I think that's fantastic.
I've always had a holistic lifestyle. I think I wanted to be a dietitian, and A-level chemistry didn't like me, and I didn't like it. And so I've always been into nutrition. And then when I think Zara was, what was she? She was a baby. So 22, 23 years ago, I started to really, really get into nutrition and studied to be a nutritional therapist. And that's all holistic. It's all about lifestyle changes, what you put in your body, not just food-wise, drink-wise, but, the things that you spray on your body, etc., etc. And I then did my degree in nutritional science. So again, it was a higher level. So I've always been quite holistic. And then menopause, grief, lockdown, long COVID hit, and like a lot of people and a lot of my friends, we drank gin and ate cake. And
I know a few people like that.
We might have got a little bit wider. So when I started doing my training, I was still suffering a bit with long COVID. So it was kind of, right, okay, if this is taking off as much as it is, you've got to sort yourself out. So I started 2 years ago doing a little bit of intermittent fasting, which had worked in a previous sort of time, but because I was then post-menopause and I was also walking every morning, it just didn't work for me. So I then worked with a coach. I'm just coming, sort of probably to the end of that journey now. Not quite there, but almost at the end. And it was the accountability for me, because obviously nutritionally I know exercise, I have got exercise, but I didn't have the right level of exercise. So I've used that with her. And slow process, but I've gone from, do you want me to say?
Yeah, go for it.
I was
happy to.
I was pretending to be a size 14, but I was really a 16 to a size 10.
Oh,
wow.
That's over 3 stone.
And we've seen the photo shoot.
Yeah.
So,
but it's about that confidence that comes with it. Because you were saying, I would never have done a photo shoot. I think that's what it's not about being whatever size you are, but being happy. Being happy to take a photo. Because there's a lot of women who will not take photos, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's being happy. There aren't many photos of me because I hated it.
There you go.
And also, looking back, I could not believe that I'd let myself get to that stage.
Welcome to the Muslima Sports Association, where empowerment and sportsmanship meet for Muslim women. Dive into our world of sports, tailored exclusively for you. From the exhilarating teamwork of football and the strategic plays of netball to the challenging strokes of dragon boat racing and the precision of fencing, whether you're looking to find your strength in wellness classes or experience the thrill of the NFL, we've got it all. Join a community where faith meets fitness, courage and camaraderie. The Muslima Sports Association, where every Muslim woman discovers her champion within. Visit us today and kickstart your journey to greatness. Your sport, your sisterhood, your strength.
But it was a vicious circle, very much.
So what was that trigger that made you think, I've got to change? Because there'd be a lot of women watching this and we all say it, don't we? I mean, myself included, I'll change tomorrow. But that tomorrow never comes.
I was just yo-yoing backwards and forwards, and things just kept happening. And then New Year 2023, I stood on the scales and thought, oh my goodness. I don't think I was that heavy when I was pregnant.
Anyway.
They do. They change depending on where you put it on the floor.
It does. And your weight does fluctuate. I mean, I'm playing around with a few pounds at the moment, but there's no way I'm going back. I got rid of all my bigger clothes. I could have sold a lot on vintage. I'm ashamed at how many clothes I had because of my colour friend, the colour lady, the therapy lady. I used to buy loads and loads of things from her and loved shopping, but never felt comfortable in what I've got. And, this time last year, I'd done the same thing. I'd been to her January event and I came away and I came home and cried because I didn't know how I wanted to look. I knew that I'd lost weight, but I didn't know what my image was.
Yeah.
And I can remember I went with a friend to Blue Water and I think I bought one thing. My husband was really lovely. He'd given me some money and said, you can't keep wearing these clothes that are literally hanging off of you. You've got to go and
you'd
get
think it'd be the opposite, isn't it? You've lost a whole heap of weight.
That's exactly what I thought. But people don't prepare you for that.
Yeah.
And so again, it was another journey. It was kind of, okay, where am I going with this? What am I doing? And I just spent probably a week on my iPad just looking. And I knew that I didn't want to go and buy loads of cheaper things. I wanted really nice things because I felt that I'd earned it.
Yeah.
And so I just chose the shops that I've always wanted to shop in and just started doing some research. And then my husband and my youngest daughter came with me to Blue Water one Saturday. And they just sat in the changing room and I just, yep. And it was such a joy. That's too big. Can I have the smaller size, please?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And before we ask about but was there also a trigger when it comes to putting on the weight? Because I think we will say there's something that we say we're going to change, but actually something happened then that changed.
I lost my dad. Probably 18 months before COVID lockdown. I had COVID quite badly when it officially wasn't here, and officially I did have it. I had long COVID. I was going through menopause. My youngest was struggling with life because she was at university in COVID. Lots and lots and lots of things. Okay. It was just, when you get to a certain age, you're the sort of the sandwich in between.
Yeah.
And I was taking it all. My father-in-law wasn't well. My mum was quite demanding and still is. She'll never listen to this, I hope.
That's all going on now.
Yeah. She's 93 next month, so I doubt she'll have the technology to do it.
Wow.
But because we recently were talking about like emotional eating. Yeah. And it's such a massive thing.
And it's because I've always been a very healthy eater. I think it was portions as well. But once during lockdown, because everyone was at home, it was kind of, I've got two of us are gluten-free. I've got one who's now vegan but has got a nut allergy. I've got my husband who loves traditional food. And it was kind of, I was trying to please everybody instead of trying to please me.
Yeah.
And now my husband sort of, when we have a bad week, which sometimes we do, life happens, he's like, when are we going back to our healthy eating? And you think, why didn't you say this 3 years ago?
I know, but that change has impacted everyone, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's important to have that support unit around you as well. Were they encouraging you? Were they giving those small cheers?
Yeah. I mean, this morning I haven't seen a few people for ages, and I've had so many compliments, which was lovely. And my big girl, because she is 5'11", 10 something, she put her arm around me. She said, "I'm so proud of you, Mummy."
That's the best, isn't it?
Yeah. And when I got to goal, both of them bought me this, which is just so sweet. So
fantastic, yeah.
Oh, bless them.
You must be proud of them as well.
Yeah. I'm very proud of my girls.
Yeah. But I think as a mum as well, we always think we've now changed the way our children are going to grow up. And I think that's massive, isn't it? Because you can have all the bad habits in the world, but when you have children and you're thinking they're picking up on my bad habits, and that's when it really worries you. Because I
think when they were younger, because I was doing my studying, we were really, really clean, healthy eating, and it was lockdown that really, really finished us off. I think. But my eldest, because she's got Crohn's, she is very much into her nutrition. She's now vegan. She puts me to shame sometimes, really. And she had Brussels sprouts left over at Christmas, and she's made them into kimchi, but nobody actually fancies it. It's in the fridge, and it's very good.
She'll be listening, okay?
I know she will. She said the same. And if the youngest, she won't even go near a Brussels sprout, so we don't stand a chance with her.
But that's nice, isn't it? To think, you know what, it's impacted everyone and made that change.
The thing I'm so inspired about, Anne, is like there's a lot of mums who just lose their own self. Like you just said, you found yourself again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mums or women out there that you're someone's mum, you're someone's daughter, you're always someone's sister, but you're never yourself. You lose a large portion of you when life happens, right?
Yeah.
And for you to get that back, I'm not going to ask your age, but to get that back in our
I'm 60
age.
next year.
And 60.
Wow.
Next year. Next year.
Next year. Oh, next year. Sorry. Next year.
Towards the end of next year, I'd like to say.
But looking good. Yeah.
Amazing.
So Shafts is 50.
It's a number. It's a number. That's what I said to you, didn't I?
Tell these youngsters it's just a number.
It's a number. But it is true. You get so... You're a mum, and I think for me, it's been harder being a mum to 20-somethings than it has to being when they were younger, because when they were younger, you were in control of everything they did.
Yeah.
And when they're older, you can see what's going on, but you have to be so careful and tread carefully and wait for them to work it out.
Yeah.
They may ask you, they may not listen, and then, it's heartbreaking sometimes being a mum. It really is.
It is, definitely.
And that's the thing. It's never easier. There's no stage in that
different,
life.
but not easier, isn't it?
It looks very different. Yeah, that's true. But I don't think it ever gets easier. And I don't think you ever stop worrying about your children. It doesn't matter. I mean, your mum, you said you're 93. I bet you said she's doing money, but of course she loves you, and she always
tell her most things, to be honest with you. It's probably easier.
We protect them, don't we? At that age, you have to protect them as well, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about this colour therapy. You mentioned colour therapy, and I know a lot of people would be like, what is colour therapy?
So when I was before I did my degree, I was doing a sort of programme with people with my nutritional therapy, which was, again, education. So it was... changing their lifestyle. So it was the things you cooked with, the things you use on your body, the things you put in your body, how you cook, etc., etc. So it was a 12-week program, and part of that was because you're losing weight and you're changing yourself is how you feel about yourself. And colour is such a huge part of how you feel about yourself. I mean, it's sunny today, so we all feel great, don't we?
Yes.
But when it's a miserable day, I turned up to this lady. It's my colour. She's a lovely lady. They're independent. Well, there's two of them, Fiona and Mandy. And I was wearing black, and she instantly said to me, that's the wrong colour for you. So okay, I thought I was very, glamorous and chic.
I think I'm all in black today.
But if you're a winter, then
but I think a lot of people say stay away from black. Yeah.
So I had my colours done, and it just made life so much easier. I know what colours. I'm a very bright person.
So how does she determine your colour?
So if you go with no makeup, or you take all your makeup off, so you've got your natural skin tone, and your hair is normally covered if you've got coloured hair. And then she's got swatches of colours, so she chooses. I can't remember what colour she normally uses, but she puts a warm tone and a cool tone on either side, and whichever makes your face light up is your side. So for me, I mean, this colour is quite a warm colour. Yeah. It reflects the light, whereas if I put, say, your black, I would look as though I was probably dying, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it does drain certain colours out of your skin, isn't it? Yeah.
And then once you've worked out whether you're a warm or a cool, you then she then drapes different colours to see if you're if you're warm, you'd be a spring or an autumn. Okay. If you're cool, you'd be a winter or a summer.
So what are your colours? Because you did say you're spring.
I'm spring, so they're really bright. I'm a very bright spring, so I'm not a bluey spring. I'm a bright spring. So the match, the paint box, the bright yellow, the bright red, bright greens.
Red is lovely,
Red is definitely your colour, And luckily the Nordic uniform is red as well. So
I love red. I love red and I love green.
But so is it very subjective? Like, is it just based on what she thinks, or is there
You can see it.
Okay.
I've modelled for her a few times when she's had people coming in, and so I have to keep quiet even though I'm thinking, I know which one I am. And you can see how much it lifts you.
Wow.
Oh, fantastic. That's amazing. Definitely. Because I wear a lot of black, and I know it's not the right colour to wear. It's just easy, isn't it? You just wear black, and And I remember my neighbour found me on the road one day, and my father's he passed away like 8 years ago, and he came up to me, and this was like a few years after he'd passed away, and he said, because he has dreams. My neighbour is very spiritual, and he goes, your father came to me in a dream and said, don't wear black. And I was just like, I got a little bit spooked out, because I was like, what's going on? You're right, Yash.
Yeah, okay, so.
But yeah, it is that. And I think he must have seen me, and he must have seen maybe the sadness associated with it as well, and thought, come on, girl, you need to put some colour in.
Did you take his advice, though?
There's a little bit of bronze.
But you know, in winter, it's already dull as it is. We don't want to wear black. We want to add colours like yourself, rather red, and it just makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Just even a pop of colour on a scarf
literally,
makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I find, because I am such a bright colour, when I was trying to find clothes this time last year, I struggled because everything was white, black. I can wear grey. I can wear grey. But I really, really struggled. Whereas we're coming into spring and it's like, yes!
Yeah, absolutely. But it's everything, isn't it? And I think that's where we need to really reflect on the holistic lifestyle. It's about doing our walks, but even when we do walks, to think actually being in the forest makes such a difference.
Oh, it does.
You know, what we're wearing makes such a difference. What we're putting into our body makes such a difference. It's all of that.
Small changes, just do small changes over a long period of time really does.
Yeah.
You know,
but it's having that belief that it will have an impact. I think there's a lot of people who are like, oh, it doesn't matter. But actually, everything that we are exposed to has an impact.
Islamically, are we supposed to be just wearing black?
No, not at all.
I think so.
Because that's what a lot of people think, isn't it?
There is that kind of misconception that to be modest, you wear black, but not really, because actually part of our religion is also about look after your mental health. And I know, with certain colours just makes you happy, doesn't it?
I think as you get older, you get more confident and more bolder in what you're... And you're thinking, I really don't give a monkeys what anyone else is thinking about me. I want to be happy with myself, isn't it?
I think once I hit 40, I was kind of actually... I got a lot more confident in myself.
Yeah.
Once I hit 50, definitely. And I wasn't even lacking confidence. I mean, my husband says that to me, you know, I say, oh, I'm much better since I've lost the weight and everything. He said, no, you're not. You may think you are, probably in your appearance, but internally you've always been a strong person. You've made up your mind you're going to do something and you do it. And also I think because I led... All my friends used to think I was this weird hippy-dippy person. They probably still do. They probably
doesn't matter.
But all the things that I was doing 20 years ago are now coming very trendy, you know, clean eating and, you know, you've got Purdy and Fig and you've got all of this, you know, these are all the things that I knew about and I'm not saying I practiced everything, and recently, for various reasons, I've sort of introduced more and more, and I'm really trying to clean up our act.
Do you feel like your faith plays a part in that as well? Because I think Annie's our first non-Muslim guest, actually. So I think so. So it's just nice to think, does faith play a part in how we live in that sense?
For me, it does.
Yeah, because it is for us as well.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody, a lot of my friends don't have a faith or they don't have a practicing faith. But for me, my faith has seen me through some very tough times. Yeah. Very tough times.
And I think that's what it is.
You know, I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it just wavers. Yep. But it's always there.
Yeah, it does, isn't it? And that's
guilt
just
plays
human
a huge
nature,
part,
isn't it?
because that's just...
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. But I think we always think we want to improve because actually God's given us with a particular role in life.
Well, in Islam, we're supposed to look after our bodies. He's given it as a gift to us, not for us to abuse. So but a lot of people do, obviously.
So do you come to Nordic Walk on Thursday? Thames
Chase.
Thames Chase.
Sorry, Anne. Sorry.
Do you know the time?
Oh, yeah.
What time?
10.
I just turn up, okay?
10 till 11 with a cup of tea afterwards.
Yes,
that's it.
Exactly.
And a chat and always a laugh.
Yeah, always a laugh. Yes,
definitely.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's such an inspiration. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm going to let you do the outro because I've got...
Oh, gosh, Chef, you go for it.
No, I don't even remember a word.
Thank you for watching the Empower Her Play podcast. You got to like and subscribe and comment and stuff like that, and download any previous episodes. And thanks.
See you next time.
See you next time. That will do.